Hey everyone, so this beautiful thing next to me is the Genesis G80. Now, very quick explanation if you've never heard of Genesis. It's not just a vehicle in Hyundai's lineup. Now, Genesis is their own brand. Boom, now we've got that out of the way. This is going to be our full in-depth review on this pretty much loaded up G80. If you guys are new to CarGurus, we would love to have you subscribe. Be sure to hit the bell so you guys never miss an upload. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, so let's start with this color. This is called Tasman Blue, but in my opinion, it looks more green or turquoise than blue. It still looks excellent though. That's not to take away from the fact that this is a beautiful color, but I'm not sure how it's coming off across camera. So you guys comment, let me know, does it look more blue or more green? Once again, it accents these lines very well. Now let's talk about this grille because it is massive. Now you have the same design on the GV80. However, because this is a smaller sedan, it just looks that much more immense, especially since you have your logo separated from this massive piece. It just forces you to focus on how big this is. I just think if it was a little bit smaller, it'll be fine. I don't hate it, but I'm not completely in love with it. What I am in love with though is the headlight design. You have these quad LEDs with the two LED daytime running strips in the middle. I think it's a good look and it's already very signature to Genesis. So it's pretty nice that they've found their look pretty early on. All right, so coming to the side of the G80, I think the side profile is one of my favorite because it's just such a beautiful car. You've got 20-inch wheels here, and these are an option. I love how they have these nice little, I guess, indents or cutouts in the middle. It just gives it a neat little look as opposed to just having your basic 5 spokes right here. Now, the one thing I like the most about the side profile is you can see just how precise everything is. So the front headlights wrap around here, and if you follow that, it's gonna meet these turn signals right here. And then as I come to the rear end, it's also going to line up perfectly with the tail lights, which is pretty nice. You've got a sharp line coming from the back all the way to the front, and it just has a very elegant look to it. All right, so as we come to the rear of the G80, very simplistic design. You've got this sharp cutoff right here on your trunk area, this nice aluminum piece here, obviously your Genesis logo, very nicely spelled out here in the back, and then you have your same quad LED tail lights back here as well. Now you're also going to have your G80 badge, your 4-wheel drive badge, which this is going to be, and then your 3.5 turbo badge, which is the engine that we have under here. All right, so under the hood of the Genesis G80, you have 2 engine choices. You have a turbo 4-cylinder and a twin turbo V6. Now, the 4-cylinder is going to make 300 horsepower, which is extremely stout for that engine. For reference, a 4-cylinder powered BMW 5 Series is not going to make nearly that much, and that's only going to make 2 horsepower less than the optional V6 in the Lexus ES, both cars of which compete against this. Then you have this optional 3.5 liter twin turbocharged V6. This is going to make 375 horsepower, about 390 pound-feet of torque, and it's very stout. This is going to make more power than even a 540i. This is going to make more power than an A7. The only way for you to get more power even in an Audi is to go to an S7. At that point, you're at $84,000, whereas this is $69,000 as equipped, and we'll talk more about pricing and everything a little bit later. But very good engine options under here. This one's going to be all-wheel drive because we have the Prestige, but let's go ahead and hop on the inside and check that out. So on the inside of the Genesis G80, this interior color is simply called Dune. It's like this really nice sand looking color. The leather feels great. You've got tons of perforation, tons of designs going throughout the seat, like black piping here on the side. And I love this wood here. It's such a nice grain. It's a flat finish and very small detail, but I love how the hazard fits there in the middle, just looks very nice. But the interior is very horizontal, really just accentuates the width of the vehicle. Same with this touchscreen up here. So I can reach up, touch it using that, and it's very big, horizontal. It looks beautiful, the resolution is great, and I can also use this scroll wheel down here, which I'm not necessarily a huge fan of. You get used to it, so I've had this for about a week, and I'm pretty much already used to using it, but initially, the first few days, it's kind of an annoyance to use if I'm being completely honest. Now, other than that, more of that beautiful matte wood here. Got my cup holders here, storage space, and everything is very well damped, so even when I close this, you can't hear anything close. It's extremely refined in here. Wireless charging pad inside of here. I'm a huge fan of this Alcantara headliner, and I do really like how whenever you close the sunscreen shade, it sort of conceals the outside, and then whenever you open it, it just reveals everything. I kind of like the setup of that. Another thing to talk about is the steering wheel. So on the GV80, it's just almost this flat pillow design going across. This one's a little bit different. It actually gives me some grab areas right here, which I quite like. Same dune colored leather here. Obviously your black leather surrounding the outside. And you do have some cool features in here. So I have things like this touch sensitive area for my ventilated seats, my heated seats, heated steering wheel, dual zone climate control, all of your standard things that you expect in a high-end luxury car. One thing you don't expect is smart posture care. I can go through, enter my information, how tall I am, my pants seam length, and it will actually adjust my seating position to what Genesis thinks is my perfect seating position, and then I can automatically save it to, let's say, driving seat memory position number 1 or 2 through the screen. Other creature comforts are your beautiful sounding Lexicon sound system, your head-up display, which looks crystal clear, and one of the coolest things is this 3-dimensional driving display. It looks incredible, and there's a camera looking at my eyes, so it knows whenever I'm looking at the screen. Whenever it detects me looking, it'll go into its 3D setting. Whenever I look away, it goes into a 2D setting. All right, so in the back seat of the Genesis G80, now this is where the Genesis Smart Posture put me at being 6 feet tall. I've got tons of room behind myself, plenty of feet room, headroom is even good with my big hair. One thing that's very odd is I don't really know what this beam is here with the moonroof. I think it's just when the front portion opens, it doesn't necessarily open all the way, so this is where that's going to come in. Very odd, but something I wanted to point out. Now, the comfort level back here is equally as good as the front seats without question. I'm so comfortable right now. You are going to have your sunscreen shade right over here. I do have all of my climate control settings here, 2 vents there in the middle, and then if I fold this down, you're obviously going to have an armrest integrated in here, but you also have tons of storage space, a USB right back here. You're going to have 2 cup holders for both outboard passengers, heated seats for both outboard passengers, as well as a button to roll up and down my sunscreen shade, which is always pretty nice. I'm extremely comfortable back here, guys, and I'm genuinely impressed with how comfortable I am. If you were sitting on this side and you needed a little bit more room, but there's no one sitting in the passenger seat, you can use these buttons on the side of the passenger seat to move it forwards and backwards. But if you have kids, that may not be the best thing. And as far as I know, you can't turn it off. All right, so coming to the trunk area of the G80 now, obviously you can use your key, you do have the kick function, and then you have a little button hidden right on top of the camera. You push that, it's gonna open right up. Now this is gonna have 13.1 cubic feet of storage space, which is okay. It's a little bit less than something like a 5 Series, not as massive as something like an ES or even an A7. Now there are a few things you don't have in here. So you don't have any hooks to hang things like your grocery bags on, and you cannot fold the rear seats down. You only have a pass-through in the middle. You're also gonna have a spare underneath, which is nice to have. All right, so setting off in the Genesis G80, let's talk about first impressions. So the first things you notice when you get in the vehicle. Now, first of all, I love the seat comfort. I love the steering. It's nice and light. I wouldn't really say it's extremely communicative, at least not in this comfort mode, but it is very precise, which I do quite enjoy. I love the visibility of everything. I have great visibility out of the front, great visibility over the hood. Side mirrors look great. Visibility out of the back rear view mirror is excellent, and my blind spots are barely existent, which is nice. All right, so there is one other thing I want to mention that I think is kind of funny. So you have this button on the side of your seat, and it's not quite a seat massage. It's called Ergo Motion Seat. And really what it does is it just occasionally moves little areas in your seat. It's not quite a full-on massage. It's just little, I guess, bumps here and there on your bottom side and on your back side. So it's kind of funny. I don't know why they wouldn't just make it a full-on massage, but hey, it's also a decent amount cheaper than a lot of the German competition, so I guess you gotta save money somewhere. There is one thing I do like, and that is its Lexicon sound system. It is excellent, though you obviously can't show it too much over video. Just know that if you're an audiophile type person, the sound system will definitely suffice. One thing I do like in terms of safety is whenever I blink left or blink right, you do have a camera that shows up, and that'll show you more of your blind spot on the left, more of your blind spot on the right. All right, so you do have different driving modes. You're going to have your comfort, you're gonna have sport, you have eco, and then you have your custom mode. So right now we're in comfort. We already discussed the sort of lighter steering feel. And if I go ahead and push this drive mode button, we'll go ahead and throw it into sport. Steering tightens up a bit. Your ride is going to get a little bit firmer, and obviously your throttle response is even more immediate. So for example, I'm in gear right now, just casually cruising. And let's say I need to merge and I really need to get up to speed, foot all the way down. Whoa. It'll get up and move. It's definitely properly fast. Now you do have paddle shifters on here, and surprisingly, they work very well. So this is fourth gear, third, second, and upshift now, and it shifts almost immediately. It is very impressive. For something that's not necessarily marketed as a sports sedan, it does sports sedan things very well, and this paddle shift response is excellent. All right, so let's talk about competition and pricing. So pricing, this as is right at $69,075. And this is pretty much as loaded up as you can get it. That is an excellent price. Once again, the power this is making, 375, that's more than an A7, that's more than a 540i, that's more than an ES350, that's more than a lot of the competition. And to get more power, usually, you'll have to go to like a S7 or maybe a BMW M550i. And those are more expensive. Those start in the $80,000 range. So this is a very sweet spot in terms of luxury, performance. It just gives you great value. Now, that's not to say that this is the perfect vehicle and that everyone should buy this. It does have its negatives. For example, this doesn't feel quite as composed as the German competition. Whenever you hit a good bump, it does feel sort of pogo-y and like bouncy. And I'm not a huge fan of that, no matter what mode I'm in, comfort, sport, eco. It always has that characteristic to the suspension that I'm not a fan of. It could have better steering feel to it. A lot of the German competition is a little bit better at that as well. Well, everyone, that's going to wrap up my review of the Genesis G80. I think this is an excellent vehicle. I think it competes fairly well against the German competition and even against the Japanese competition. I really think that Genesis did a great job in the way that they priced this and the features that they decided to make better than the competition. I just think that as an overall package, it offers great value. But I want to know, would you guys choose a G80 over something like a 5 Series, over something like an ES, over an E-Class, an Audi A6, A7? Let us know in the comments below. And if you guys are new to CarGurus, we would love to have you subscribe. Be sure to hit the bell. You can visit us on cargurus.com to learn more, and we'll see you guys in the next review.